Today I'm going to speak to you about a very basic and a very simple reality concerning the time of the end of man's rule under Satan's tutelage. I will also share with you some very basic and irrefutable facts that prove that we are in this time. At least they are irrefutable if you believe our Creator's word that His Son bore witness to. First, it is a very simple fact that one is going to be sent to you at the time of the end to restore all things. Our Messiah spoke this in Matthew chapter 17. Why then do the scribes say that Elijah must come first? Yeshua answered and said to them, Elijah truly will come first and restore all things. Malachi recorded that this event would happen before the great and fearful day of Yahweh's wrath. In Matthew 11, Yeshua gave a prophecy that this person would not be Elijah himself, but rather one that would be sent in the spirit of Elijah, in the prophecy of Elijah. He did so when he said that John the Baptist was Elijah. In Matthew 11, he says, And if you desire to receive this, this is the Elijah that shall come. He that has ears to hear, let him hear. He's letting us know that he's speaking prophetically. He was giving a prophecy for the Elijah that would come. When asked point blank by the Levite priest, John the Baptist himself clearly declared that he was not Elijah. This is recorded in John chapter 1, verse 21. Yeshua was prophesying that one would come in the spirit of Elijah, like I said, in the prophecy of Elijah. John was not sent to restore all things. He was not sent before the great and fearful day of Yahweh's wrath. He was sent to prepare the way for our Messiah's first coming. I have been sent to prepare the way for the twofold manifestation of His second coming. I'll speak about this twofold manifestation in a bit. Yahweh's word testifies to what would identify the end-time Elijah when he's sent. The first Elijah was caught up in the whirlwind at the Jordan River. John the Baptist's ministry began with him baptizing at the Jordan River. My ministry began at the Jordan River as well. It fulfills this prophecy. It began with me turning the water that we must be baptized under into Yeshua's blood. This was the first video that Yahweh led me to post back in 2010. In lieu of this very simple and straightforward fact that according to our Messiah, Elijah is going to be sent to restore all things, and in lieu of John himself declaring that he was not Elijah, and the fact that John did not restore all things, nor was he sent before the great and fearful day of Yahweh's wrath, it is impossible to refute, at least it is impossible to refute if you believe Yahweh's word, that the one who is going to be sent to you before the day of his wrath to restore all things would be one sent in the spirit of Elijah, or in the prophecy of Elijah. So if you believe that I am not this Elijah, but you believe that we are at the time of the end, you need to find him and seize with him in what he has restored when you find him. One thing that might be good for you to match up in your search for this servant is that he will bear the name Michael. I say this because Yahweh's word says this. It says this in Daniel 10:21. Verily or truly, at the time of the end, I will declare to you that which is recorded in the scripture of truth. He is going to reveal and restore all things, all the hidden things. And there are none that sees with me in these things except for Michael my steward. So when you find this Michael, in order to match him to what this verse says, he needs to have reached a point in his service where none fully seized with him in what he restored and revealed. Some of you probably get tired of me reading this verse, but I'm only reading it over and over again in these videos for your sake. This is not about me. It is about the truth that will give you eternal life and set you free. I keep reading it so that hopefully you will receive the obvious fact that it states and cause you to turn from your rebellion to what Yahweh has revealed and restored. Malachi prophesied that this Elijah would be sent to you, proclaiming for you to offer up an offering in righteousness to Yahweh. So if I am not this Elijah, you need to find a servant named Michael that has brought forth a proclamation for you to offer up an offering in righteousness to Yahweh as well. The offering that I have cried out for you to offer up to Yahweh is for you to turn to living the Torah with the statutes and judgments, and to do so in order to become as he is. The offering that I have cried out for you to offer up to him is to join in with me in crying aloud to warn others to do the same, or dying they will die. Just like dying you will die if you don't do the same. I've cried out for you to return to having hearts like the hearts of the patriarchs of old had, How does this line up with Malachi's description of the Elijah that was going to be sent to you to restore all things? In Malachi chapter 4, remember the Torah of Moses my servant, which I commanded him in Horeb for all of Israel, with the statutes and judgments. Behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and fearful day of Yahweh. And he will turn the hearts of the fathers to the children, and the hearts of the children to their fathers, lest I come and smite the earth with a curse. Folks, how incredibly simple and straightforward is this? Yahweh's word gives his end-time messenger of the covenant an infallible resume for you to use to identify him when he is sent. When Messiah said in Matthew chapter 24, "But as the days of Noah were, so also will be the coming of the Son of Man. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking and marrying and giving in marriage until the day that Noah entered the ark. And they did not know until the flood came and took them all away. So also will be the coming of the Son of Man." There have already been several tiers to this prophecy that have unfolded in the prophecy that I have been sent to you with. First, Noah knew when to build the ark and when to get into it. Yahweh told him. This means that at the time of the end, Yahweh is going to tell his servant, and his word says that this servant would be named Michael. Secondly, in the prophecy that I've been sent to you with, Yeshua came as a thief in the night to harvest his father's 144,000 first fruits. He did so on last year's Feast of First Fruits, and you did not know it, or you did not receive it, just like they did not know it or receive Noah's warnings to them back then. And just like you have not received Yahweh's continued warnings since then, to let his warnings cause you to turn from your rebellion to his word. Thirdly, another "as it was in the days of Noah" match to the prophecy that I've been sent to you with is Noah and his family were the only ones left on the boat after the flood began. After July 19th, my family and I were the only ones who remained fled. Now, even another tier to "as it was in the days of Noah" has recently been given. Yahweh has woven the 377 days from when Noah was told to start loading the ark until he was told to get off of it into the prophecy that I have been sent to you with. And he has done so in a remarkable way. If you cannot see how this is yet another perfect match to Yeshua's prophecy "as it was in the days of Noah," you are being willfully ignorant. Why don't you ask yourself why the 377-day record is in his word in the first place if you do not think that the 377 days is for the here and the now? Why did Yahweh record that he remembered Noah 157 days later if it was not significant to Yeshua's "as it was in the days of Noah" prophecy? Why did he not open the door for 220 more days after this if he had forgotten him but then suddenly remembered him? Why are there the 110 and 220 day and the 330 day matches in the prophecy that he has sent me to you with? Why the 370 day and the 377 day matches? Could I really have imagined all of this up? No, he did not even let me see the continuance of his timeline until 11 days prior to July 19th, so that you could not make the claim that I imagined his timeline up in my heart. He did it this way so that you could not use thinking that I drew it up as an excuse to rebel against what he has revealed and restored. In these 370 and 307 day matches, first Yahweh tied in the timeline of the flood into July 19th last year in the second tier of the sign of Jonah. His doing so ended up funneling into the third tier that proved the restoration of his 30-day month that nearly all of you are rejecting. Then he revealed a sub-tier of the 377 days that began on January 8th of this year and ends on January 20th of next year. Then he tied in the 1,290 days of Daniel's chapter 12 prophecy for the abomination of desolation. 1,290 days prior to January 20th was July 10th of 2010. This was 377 days prior to the public announcement of Saul of Tarsus being the abomination of desolation. I did not even know about the 377 days of the flood account, nor January 20th back then, so there was no way that I could have orchestrated this. In addition to this 1,290-day stamp of authenticity that Saul is the abomination of desolation, Yahweh even stamped it with the January 15th, 2011 prophecy and sent the Japan tsunami 55 days later to prove it, to back it up. Then Yahweh showed us the recent tier of the prophecy of Isaiah walking naked for 3 years, or for 1,080 days, 3.5 years, or 1,260 days of the Revelation 11 prophecy for the two witnesses that I have been sent with began on August 9th of 2010. It ends on January 20th of next year. Noah started loading the boat 377 days before Yahweh opened the door, but he closed the door 7 days later or 370 days before he opened the door. 3 years, or 1,080 days after the 1,260 days began, will be on July 24th of this year. I spoke about this in a recent video. This will be 370 days after July 19th, when Yeshua came like a thief in the night to harvest the first fruits. These first fruits were the 153 who were still alive in the flesh at that time, and the 143,822 who were still in the tombs sleeping at that time. And July 24th will also be 377 days after I scattered the last third of my hair on July 12th of last year. Folks, this is spectacular in design. And I am just sharing with you a few of the highlights in this video. And on top of the 370 day and the 377 day matches to the record of the flood, to the prophecy that I've been sent to you with, there are several 110 day and 220 day and 330 day matches. Spoken about a few of these in recent videos as well. Plus, as it was in the days of Noah, Noah was the only one left that seized with Yahweh at that time. After the 153 were harvested, I was the only one left seizing with him. His word says so. This is what it testifies to. You want to remain above your word and deny it, above his word in your hearts and deny it. That's your choice to do so. We'll see where it gets you. The Elijah 19 prophecy, coupled with Daniel 10:21, says this as well. In 1 Kings chapter 19, and Elijah said, I have been very zealous for Yahweh Elohim of hosts. For the children of Israel have forsaken your covenant. They have thrown down your altar and slain your prophets with the sword. And only I am left, and they seek my life to take it away. Remember, the end-time messenger was recorded to be one who would be sent in with Elijah's prophecy. Ties this in with that. Verse 11, and Yahweh said, Go and stand in the mountain before my face. And behold, Yahweh passed over, and a great and mighty wind rent the mountain, and broke the rocks before Yahweh's face. But Yahweh was not in the wind. And after the wind, an earthquake, or shaking, but Yahweh was not in the earthquake. And after the earthquake, a fire, but Yahweh was not in the fire. And after the fire, a small, quiet voice. Spoken about this in more detail in several videos. This is not only a prophecy of his word testifying that I am the only one left who fully seizes with him in what he has revealed and restored. It is also a prophecy that declares that his wrath has not been in the first stages of the prophecy that he has sent me to you with to date. My point today is, as it was in the days of Noah, so was Yeshua's return like a thief in the night last July, and so will his return be like lightning coming from the east when he is sent to pour out his Father's wrath. It will come suddenly upon you because you refuse to hearken to his Father's word and that he was made to be in the flesh. Even Yeshua, speaking about his return in these two opposite ways, like he did match the prophecy that I've been sent to you with, that I've spoken. In one set of the prophecies, he spoke that he comes like a thief in the night, and on the other, he comes with power and glory for all to see. Can't you see that this is exactly how this is unfolding? The answer is, at least for most of you, no. It is no, because you see yourselves as one of the elect, and therefore you cannot accept that you were not harvested on July 19th. Therefore you claim that my prophecy is wrong. But in thinking this, you have to reject what Yahweh's word testifies to. His word declares that it would be as it was in the days of Noah, and the prophecy that I have been sent with backs this up completely and brilliantly. As it is in the days of Noah, there was only one, just like Yahweh said there would be only one that would seize with him when he revealed and restored all things. Why not use this information to cause you to turn from your rebellion? Get off your high horse. If you are letting your belief that you are one of the elect get in the way of seeing this, if you would just think about it, how could you be one of the 144,000 if you will not even flee to the mountains and trust and obey Yahweh's word like his son said to do? And if you do not believe that Saul is the abomination of desolation, you simply do not believe that which Yahweh's word testifies to in the first place. And you certainly have to be awfully stiff-necked to not receive the 1290-day prophecy and the Japan tsunami prophecy. associated with January 15th of 2011. What was given? Folks, this is so basic and so simple that it is hard to believe that you remain so stiff-necked and rebellious to what His Word testifies to. I'll go back to the beginning of this video and review the end 101. I said first, it is a simple fact that one is going to be sent to you to restore all things in the spirit of Elijah. Our Messiah spoke this in Matthew 17. Why then do the scribes say that Elijah must come first? Yeshua answered and said to them, Elijah truly will come first and restore all things. Then I pointed out to you Daniel's prophecy for this servant in Daniel 10:21. Verily, I will declare to you that which is recorded in the scripture of truth. In other words, going to reveal and restore all things, and there are none that sees with me in these things except for Michael, my steward. And then Malachi's prophecy, Malachi chapter 4. Remember the Torah of Moses, my servant, which I commanded to him in Horeb for all of Israel, with the statutes and judgments. Behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the coming and great and fearful day of Yahweh. And he will turn the hearts of your fathers to the children, and the hearts of the children to their fathers, lest I come and smite the earth with a curse. And then Yeshua's prophecy, Matthew 24, verse 37. But as the days of Noah were, so also will be the coming of the Son of Man. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking and marrying and giving in marriage until the day that Noah entered into the ark. And they did not know until the flood came and took them all away. So also will be the coming of the Son of Man. On top of these prophecies, you have Yahweh's promise that of the Ezekiel 24 sign that He has sent me to you with. You have all of the prophecies of the Son of Man, Ezekiel 24 Ezekiel prophecies referring to the Son of Man as well. In Ezekiel 24 sign, he said that when one escapes from the captivity and brings this sign to your ears, you can know that it is from him. So if I'm not this servant, he allowed for me to breach his word, and he is not all-powerful. If I am not his servant, he allowed for me to void his promise. And I can guarantee you that Yahweh Elohim, the self-existing creator of all things, did not allow for this. He said you can know it, and he meant it. In addition to his promise, you have the other prophecies like the Ezekiel 5 prophecy and the Ezekiel 12 prophecy and the other Ezekiel prophecies that our Creator has fulfilled through me with perfect matches to His Word. You have the exact match to Zechariah's description of the second anointed son who would be given the name Zerubbabel. You have the signature ring that Haggai recorded would be put on Zerubbabel's hand. You have the water being turned into blood. Like the Ezekiel 24 sign, this one alone should be proof enough for you. Plus you have other prophecies that have been brought forward and fulfilled through me perfectly. So you are without excuse. And that's what this is about. Like I said, I could not have drawn his timeline up to match the 377-day timeline of the flood up to July 24th and January 20th like it does. I could not have done so because he had not given me the continuance of his timeline beyond July 19th prior to the 1335 and the 1290 and the 1260 days prophecies beginning. These prophecies began way back in 2010. And I was not even looking for them because he had given other tiers to them that kept me from looking for them until he led me to do so recently. So you really are without excuse for not offering up the offering in righteousness that he has called for you to offer up to him. It's a testimony against you. Besides this, what do you have to prove that I'm false with anyway? You have your opinion that July 19th did not happen. The problem for you is Yeshweh's word declares that it did happen. Plus, if you had been fully seizing with him at that time anyway, at July 19th, you would have known that it did happen because you would have been one of the 153. As I got to this place and putting together my notes for this video, Yahweh just led me to stop and pick up my calculator and plug in July 24th minus 153 days. Guess what? The answer is, it is today, February 21st. Go figure. I want to finish this video today by hammering home the as it was in the days of Noah match to July 24th one more time. Hopefully the following review will cause you to fear that just maybe you are not in agreement with Yahweh's word. July 24th will be 377 days after I scattered the hair per the Ezekiel 5 prophecy. It will be 370 days after the first fruit harvest that landed on July 19th. And it will be 1,080 days, or 3 years after the 1260 day of Revelation 11 prophecy began on August 9th, 2010. Plus you have Yeshua says it will be as it is in the days of Noah, tying in the 370 and the 377. In lieu of this, and in lieu of all of the prophecies that are an exact match to the work that and the resume that Yahweh has sent me to you with, if you do not think that this is a match to Isaiah's walking naked for 3 years prophecy, I have some oceanfront property in Nebraska that's for sale. His word declares that he has plucked me out of the fire and sent me to you to declare the day and the year of his vengeance per his Isaiah 61 prophecy. It says one's going to be sent to you to declare this. His word is the end 101, and his word is your judge. His son said so. John 12:48. He that sets me aside, and he was made to be in the image of his Father's word. Therefore he that sets his true character, the image of his Father's word, aside, and does not seize what I have spoken, has one that will judge him. The word that I have spoken, the same will judge him in the last day. And the 377-day record of Yahweh's flood, along with the prophecies that he had recorded to testify that he has sent me to you, are his word. And so is what he has revealed and restored. It is all in his word, and this is all about his word and what he sent it to accomplish. He sent it to mold and fashion us in his image. Turn from your rebellion to Yahweh Elohim's word. His kingdom is at hand. Thus saith Yahweh Elohim.